Hi, folks. Welcome back. We've got a exciting matchup right here going on. I'm your friendly neighborhood checkcaster, Sharrigan.
And I'm Raptor.
And we've got our trickle-down economics versus Blue Bayou Zoo match coming up right here. This is going to be pretty spicy. Already, we can see that the bans are getting dropped. We got Victor Voley, Udyr getting taken off the board, and Talia Blitzcrank being taken off the board as well. I kind of feel like, I guess Belveth may have gotten a little bit of a buff in the recent patch, or that's just something they expect Leaves to take. So that's what that respect ban is for. But already,
I think a lot of people are just kind of realizing that Belveth is a very strong champion. It's one of those things, if you walk out, look at a lot of new champions, if they aren't broken and they aren't garbage, if they're just like an okay champion, they tend to start popping into meta within like a month, like a couple months of release. So I'm not too surprised. I mean, seeing it banned, it's nice to see that like they give him Leaves that respect, but you know, we might see things like, an Amumu support. Yes, that's what I was kind of hoping we'd see.
We got the Amumu support coming out. I like its combination with the Ashe because you got so much lockdown that's just instantaneous and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Like you just get a bandage toss, arrow, bandage toss, curse. There's like, you're stuck for like 8 seconds and usually you're going to be gone in less than 10. Although you've got the Xin Zhao right there. Xin Zhao actually would not be a bad choice to kind of like, as soon as you get hit by that Amumu, you just target the Amumu, use your ultimate. Automatically, any damage coming from outside that zone, you're protected from.
This is true. This is true. I think those are good pickups for both teams. Well, except the Varus. I'm never a big fan of seeing a Varus.
Because you don't like getting burst down, but from 100 to 0 instantly?
No, I just think it's boring. Like Varus is to me like when I see an AD carry pick Varus, I go, oh, they don't know what they want to play. So they're just gonna take Varus and default.
He's a sniper. It's a little different than Caitlyn, but it's like I'm just gonna auto attack you a bunch and then just one big charge shot and no health bar.
Yeah, but then you could just take Jhin. And
That's true. That's true. He's got a little bit more theatricality, but I feel like that's baked into his kit. I do want to point out both of these teams are relatively squishy, except for the Tahm Kench.
That is fair. These are pretty squishy teams. I mean, that Amumu could be kind of beefy boy.
Takes him a little bit longer to come online though with the beefiness, though.
That's true as well. So in that case, like, it's going to be kind of like last game we saw, just a lot of, I'm guessing a bloodbath. I'm guessing it's going to be an absolute bloodbath this game, especially because, for both, well, at least for the side of BBZ, like this match really, it doesn't matter to them, because either way, they're in 4th or 5th. They're basically locked in at this point to that. And so they're going to be playing YOLO no matter what. So for them, this is fun. For TDE though, this match is kind of important. They want to keep up in that running for 2nd place. It'll depend on how the results versus UB go, and I have to double check to make sure that I didn't say that and UB already. Nope. Okay, they are 1-1. So if EEK wins, if TDE wins here, and if UB loses, we get a tiebreaker for 2nd place. Like TDE is still in the running for top 2 and to get the bye out of the first round of the playoffs. So this is a big match for them. But because of that, and because of BBZ, this match doesn't matter. Kind of expecting a bloodbath. That was where we're going with the long story.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit of a bloodbath for sure. I do like the Corki coming out on the side of BBZ. That is a champion we have seen Mizuza pilot correctly, and I say that because there's a lot of people who will play Corki, and they don't drop the packages in good manners. Like they're not blocking off the lanes, they're not dropping it over the team fight, that sort of instance. So Mizuza is going to be really terrifying once those packages start coming online. And now we've got the Shyvana coming out.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So I'm actually curious to see what kind of build we get out of the Shyvana. Usually, considering it's top, I'm guessing Bruiser Shyvana. But it could be AP, could just be there just to burst. Again, not many tanks on the other side. And you're playing into something like possibly this set, maybe just poking from afar is the way to go and get the damage in that way. But Set coming in for She Hit Ow. I'm also very excited for this because I love Set. Set is a fantastic time.
Having a set in a game always means something's going to be really, really exciting. And I think it's a good choice because you've got two champions, the Amumu and the Shyvana, who are going to want to just dive in onto your teammates, and you can just drop the showstopper on them, sending them back to their allies and dropping a huge amount of damage and just basically preventing that. It's going to be really good for BBZ to kind of keep that as a disengage tool if necessary. But then again, if you catch either of those two champions out, it's a great target to send in and kind of start the fight. If you're able to catch them out early, Shyvana will be very, very weak, very squishy outside of dragon form. And so as long as BBZ is able to kind of maintain momentum, maintain tempo, keep their wards up, I think they'll have a little bit of an advantage there. But there's a lot of AP scaling in that Ziggs that's going to be scary.
Yeah, that could be pretty terrifying.
Specifically for the towers.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the key with the Ziggs. Just help them kind of press towers down. They've got a lot of melee. Really only have the Ashe for the ranged poke. So having a little bit of extra push with that compared to the side of BBZ will probably be useful. I don't know if Antoon spotted them.
I don't believe he did.
I don't think so, yeah. Also, just a note, Jaffe did take press the attack, so this is probably going to be a...
there we go. Tom Kench running in onto the Antoons, but the Antoons is going to walk away. They are going to ping him out, so they do know. Nothing really for them to find, but they are going to get a ward down, so they'll at least know the jungle pathing.
Yeah. But as I was saying, it is press the attack. So I think it's going to be AD Bruiser Shyvana, so I'd expect to see something like Bort come out for her. Like first item, that's something I see a lot on Shyvana's, works really well with her E passive. I mean, like, well, just with her E in general. But, you know, I don't know really where I'd say the better target is, bottom lane or top. I feel like getting top lane ahead could be very useful for both these teams, but bottom could be a pretty easy gank early on. I mean, Varus and Ashe aren't champions known for their ability to get out of dodge, so I'll be curious to see where these these junglers go. They did start topside, so I think there's a strong potential they start with a gank bottom, but we'll see.
Got big boy Set trying to run in onto this Shyvana early, trying to get some damage up, but the Shyvana's just able to kite it out. I do expect that bot lane's going to be where we see a lot of the fighting going on, like you said. And it's going to be interesting to see because there's two different modalities for escape. I think that War Leader is going to be able to jump onto this Antunes. We're going to see a bit of damage coming out very early. Ignite's going to get dropped. Antunes brought super low. War Leader trying to stay alive to avoid giving first blood. Does manage to do it. Geico's going to continue this fight on Ultravox. Varus is doing a decent chunk of damage. They are getting the procs off. However, the Ashe is just starting to pepper them. Both teams end up in relatively the same position. So that's kind of an interesting thing to see. Shiho, in the meantime, in the top lane, getting a decent fight off, getting a nice chunk of health bar out of that Shyvana, forcing them under this tower, is going to allow them to kind of push in this lane fairly quickly.
Yeah, and the burst damage... Oh, Dax.
Oh, the flash coming out. Dax and Ultravox both are able to... missing their targets, but doing a lot.
Yeah, so I think the reason Geico didn't continue with that fight is he didn't level W second, so... While his spells would come up, the burst that you get, you know, from getting the full W stack on a target and then dropping an ability, it's not there. And Ashe's damage just ramps up over time from hitting a frosted target. So I think he knew he was gonna end up losing that, or was just a little worried he would. So good on him back up. But good that they burned the flash. Ooh, gank mid.
Gank mid, Dax coming in onto Zen Zen, is able to get the dash drop on there, but Zen Zen able to just drop package and kind of get out of dodge.
It does indeed get out of dodge. Goes all the way to Detroit with that one. But anyways, even game right now, almost actually dead even between these two teams. But you know, we saw the early gank. It did go bot. Didn't really work out. I mean, kills came, but not from the gank itself. So it's up now. Just where these teams, where these two junglers can go next. I think a lot of this game is going to be dictated by the junglers until everyone kind of gets a couple items online. Corki needs an item or two online before he can really scale up. Ziggs really just wants to stay in lane, just keep shoving it. Top lanes, you know, they're just kind of tanky. So it's going to be a lot on these junglers to kind of dictate the flow of the map, dictate where leads are being acquired and accrued, where they are getting where pressure is being laid. So I think a good eye this game would be to keep an eye on where they are going.
Mm-hmm. So we are going to see Dax rotating around. I believe they're going to probably head towards top lane here in just a moment. They will see that Scuttle Crab has been taken, so it might be going for the invade for looking for Viego. They're going to kind of go over the wall, just kind of finding out the jungle is empty, discover the blue blue ward right there. We got a nice fight going on down here in the bot lane, though. Antune's getting a good engage onto Geico. Geico's going to have to drop the cleanse to stay alive. Unfortunately for Ultravox, they're not able to get the last couple of shots off, so Geico will be able to survive that fight, try and get a little bit more CS. Viego, in the meantime, is taking the kind of back route, getting behind this bot lane. We could be seeing a tower dive here momentarily.
We could see a tower dive. They've got to be careful, though. This isn't level 6. There is still a lot of potential.
Yep, there is. We got the ignite dropped. Geico getting his health burned away. They're going to jump right in on top of him, but Leaves is taking so much damage. He's going to get takedown and give up his life for that. So that is going to be a 1-for-1 on the jungler. And we now see Dax rotating down to assist War Leader. I think that went in the way of BBZ.
I do too. I think that was a really bad call. You know, they aren't level 6 yet. Oh, Dax.
Continue. Antunes getting knocked up, is going to get hit by Dax. Dax going to jump in, does manage to get the auto attack off, is going to get the kill. Beautifully done.
Once again, Dax knows to go instead of for the Ashe, go for the easy Amumu, make it a pretty free kill, picks it up, puts BBZ 1,000 gold in the lead. And like I was saying, this is what the danger of diving before level 6, before you have those ultimates and those abilities to kind of help you be maybe a bit more mobile or make more plays. Ooh, hang on, top side.
We got a fight going in the top lane. Unfortunately, Jaffe has the damage on Shiho. Shiho is having to run away. The flash is going to come out, though, and we see the Dragon Lady pick up a kill.
Yeah, getting a little too aggressive there when the only item you're up is boots. Shiho, I mean, does have a big CS lead, but it kind of just no. Yeah, that's true. But once you've missed the grab, like, you might as well just back it off. You know, you force something out of them. But Ocean Dragon going down, they'll at least pick up a consolation prize on the side of BBZ. They do also get the Ziggs ult out, so that's always going to be a nice little additional cherry on top of the pie for them.
Ooh, I like that cheeky arrow that just knows where Ultravox is.
Indeed, Geico is saving and trying to save him 15% of the time backing by just killing him, but he's just too high of health. Well, maybe need to get him a little bit lower.
Yeah, just a little bit. We do have the 5-5 versus the 5-4. So Antunes is down a level. It's gonna. I don't think it'll matter too much, though. The Amumu support really thrives on just being a utility beast, and they're just looking for that engage, throwing out bandage tosses. That's kind of all you got to do. Unfortunately for Zen, they've got no mana right now, so they're going to have to back soon.
Yeah, Ziggs isn't very useful. It doesn't have mana. Mazuza doesn't either, but he is already on his way back. I think package is up at 10 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit. Yeah, just there to get items, just start picking up, get the scaling going for him. And while not like 4 to 5 isn't that big a deal, I think it's going to become a really big deal when the level 6 gap hits, when War Leader manages to hit 6 before Antunes does. That's the point to go in and get something going, and that could be a big difference maker in this game. So they've got to be careful. Antunes has to watch out and not leave his Ashe stranded for when they hit 6. They could easily lock down Ultravox too, but also has to kind of stay back a bit just till he hits that level up. And teleport coming in from the Corki in mid.
Yeah, teleport coming out from Corki. We are going to see them get back to lane fairly quickly. Viego doing a decent job clearing out their camps, trying to do as many invades as possible. You know, something that's kind of interesting to note is if you check out the Twitch chat, is the number of people who bet on this game. To the 2 people who bet on TDE, I wish you luck, because that's a very good return on investment. Right now, though, we've got Jaffe chasing down Shiho. They do have Dragon Form available, so the Shiho is in a very dangerous spot.
Yeah, I'm one of the 2 people who bet on BBZ. I only bet 1,000, so whoever bet the other 10, almost 11K, I mean, yeah, the other 10K, we're not getting anything out of this. If it's a lose-lose situation. If TDE wins, we lose our channel points. But if BBZ wins, we just get them back. We don't get it. There's a no-win situation for us. Just like this might be a no-win situation for
I love
TDE.
this engage right here. We have the cleanse coming out from the side of Geico. Unfortunately, we got Dax and Leaves both engaging on this. Shutdown is going to go over to Leaves as they manage to pick up the kill on the Tom Cage, but unfortunately, that is going to be Dax continuing the engage. Huge amounts of damage coming from both sides. Ultravox is getting shredded. We got the Corki here to finish it off, and that is a beautiful gank that started off because TDE was like, hey, let's hit the go button. Unfortunately, that just told BBZ, yeah, it's time to pick up some gold.
Yeah, the attempted gank, the attempted fight right there. I mean, they get the initial kill on the war leader, but they just can't. They at that point they needed to just back off. They stay around too long. They think they can maybe take Geico. Dax comes in, and once he's on the target and they like throws him behind, it's like, oh, this is collapse on him. Everyone stays a bit. No one's really sure what to do. No one wants to get into that challenge from Jin Zhao. And that just gives time for Mezuzah to get down there and help mop everything up. So a big fight out of BBZ. Their gold lead is down a bit, but overall I'd say that was a success. They've kind of spread the gold out a bit too, got them on the carries they wanted on. And yeah, they're in a pretty solid position right now.
They're in a decent spot. I do see that it looks like TDE is starting to make, I don't want to say desperate plays, but they are starting to get a little bit more aggressive than they probably should be on some of these, trying to like just make things work across the map. We do have Antunes up here looking for that engage, not able to find the right angle though. War Leader is baiting Ultravox into a very risky spot. Ultravox is gonna get popped up. They're gonna get hit a couple of times. They do manage to get swallowed alive, dropped into the wall, massive amounts of damage. Jax picking up the kill, and that is gonna be poor Ultravox Ash having to go back to base very quickly, just as Dragon's coming up here in 30 seconds.
Yeah, good play.
We got a fight here in the top lane. They decided to send 3 members to try and take down Shiho. I don't know why. You're fighting a set under their own turret. There is a lot of damage you have available to you, but Antunes trying to hit that go button, trying to hit things going. They do manage to get it. Unfortunately, Leaves is going to take 3 tower shots. They will survive, but that was very risky. You know,
I feel like you could have used the set shield and not lost that little bit of health. But it doesn't really matter. It's going to end up backing right here anyways. But
I don't think it's going to kill the tower, though. Oh, it will.
No, it does. It absolutely does. Yeah, TDE, they managed to make up something for what they lost on the bottom side. They take a tower. They take a kill. They're going to give up the Hex Dragon. It's not towards a soul, so no big deal. And they're going to get the other charge off from Shelly. So good plays out of TDE. And they finally got the gold lead for themselves. They're up 400.
Yeah, it's like, the way the tempo of this game is going, though, it doesn't feel like a TDE game for me right now. It feels like BBZ is kind of doing what they want, and TDE is just picking up what scraps they can find.
Yeah, I thought TDE would play with a little more gusto in this game, but maybe it's just like they're worried about throwing away their chance at, getting that tiebreaker for second place. Perhaps they're just like, no, they're just playing too conservatively. They need to be a little bit more aggressive, look for a little bit stronger positions, try to get some more ganks going. Right now, yeah, you're right. It just doesn't feel like a TD game. It feels too controlled.
To be fair, Xin Zhao does have a very strong early game, and I feel like that they'll fall off much faster than Leaves will. So Leaves will scale into this, Ziggs is going to scale into this, and Shyvana's going to scale. So out of that might just be what TDE is waiting for. They're trying to just bide their time, be like, look, it's fine if we lose the early game, because we know that late game we're going to just bust it out.
Yeah, so that could be it too. I mean, they are going
to have to worry about Geico, though. That health bars are going to disappear when Varus gets online.
Yeah, once Varus is online, it could be those are going to shred. I think though Ash recently has been really good at shredding through turrets, especially going towards the Kraken Slayer right there, which I think is where Ash is going.
Dax looking for the gauge, does get the audacious charge onto Zen. Zen trying to get into a position to throw the package, is not able to throw it, and in the position that they want, they are going to be able to get under tower, though. We do see Dax taking Zen down thanks to the burn. Huge amounts of damage getting blocked now. Unfortunately, Shutdown is going to go over to Viego as they take Dax out of the equation, and now we've got Jaffe here in the top lane, running under tower, taking a couple tower shots, I think.
Jaffe! No, why? Why? What happened there? Hey, I'm not gonna see this. Okay, so fights broke out all over the map, but let's watch the top fight because that's the one we saw the least of. So Jaffe pushing in the top wave. The turret is low, kind of wants to see See if he can maybe
my
get it.
prediction before we get to the actual fight is going to be that Jaffe's just going to walk under the tower when there's no minions to stop his.
Yeah, I think so. I'm more curious how Shihao got all the way back to the turret. Okay, does the flash over, does the little ice skate. Look at that. Look at that beautiful animation. 200 years of animation riot right there. Okay, so he gets into the turret. Jaffe gets the kill. Takes a tower shot. He walks forward. He's like, it's okay. I got the minions. We're fine. Oh, okay. So he only sees, he sees his minions. He's like, I'm going to walk under it. But both melees die. And then he goes, oh, wait, I don't have a melee. This is okay. The cannons will, I mean, the casters will walk closer. Wait, they're not walking. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, shit. And then dead. And that's what happened there. The thought process I can already see running through Shihao's head. And so good play. I'm not Shihao's head. Sorry. So it's Jaffe's head. So good on Shihao. That was where I was going with that next.
The power of the Winions. Leaves right here, looking for the engage. I like the disengage where he's like, wait, this is bad. Hold on, there's a Tom Kench here. And does actually manage to get out. That was a little bit funny.
Okay. So everything's cooled down. Everyone chill. Everyone calm for a moment. Okay.
I agree. I like the heart we've got with Viego's shadow right there.
Oh, that is pretty cute. I never noticed that. That is adorable.
Only with mountain drakes, so you must love mountains.
Yeah.
Well, we are seeing right here a bit of a slowdown in this game's tempo. It is still, I think, firmly on the side of BBZ. They do have a lot of strengths going into this. Jaffe giving over that shutdown is going to be huge. Unfortunately, Dax is getting too big for his own britches and is going to be caught out in the jungle, taken down by Leaves and the Antunes as they combine to do so much damage there. Ultravox throwing out a wide ultimate, does not find any targets. We do see Leaves looking to try and get their own audacious charge onto Mezuzah, not able to find it. And now we're starting to see Corki doing a lot of damage. Shiho with the sneaky bush play running in onto Jaffe, takes so much health for his own sake, but does deal a decent amount back. Zenzen's going to be fine. They're going to get the nice package off. Unfortunately, War Leader's going to throw in a flash to try and continue this engage. Does manage to eat the little Yordle up. There is going to be a lot of damage. Mezuzah with the life-saving flash to avoid taking the bomb damage. Well done.
Yeah, and they pick up the kill, manage to, kind of slow the pressure coming out of TDE. The TDE was starting to kind of build up in the mid lane there and put themselves, in a good position to clear these waves back, get a nice item buy ahead of this Mountain Dragon. This is going to be Mountain Soul this game, like you were saying earlier. So putting themselves on soul point, forcing TDE to constantly have to contest you, but also, just to make it so there's less dragon stacking going for a Shyvana, even though it's top lane. That's always just so many pluses for the side of BBZ. And
but we're starting to see BBZ lose control of this.
I don't know. I don't know if they're I don't know if they're losing control.
TDE is starting they're starting to scale up. They're starting to grab some decent like footholds. And so I think they're getting to be in a very scary spot, and BBZ has to be very careful not to throw their advantage.
Yeah, but I think, this is also a really big power point for the side of BBZ. This is a strong point for Corki, but we'll see in this fight if this is true.
We are seeing a nice TP coming down for Corki to join this. We are going to see the stun coming off. Massive ultimate coming off from Amumu, cursing 4 members of BBZ. The damage, though, just absolutely shredding through the health bars on the side of TDE. Look at that. Mezuzah completely bursting Ultravox down. That is going to be devastating.
Yeah, big fight coming from BBZ. Just as we were saying that they had to be careful to throw it away. They pick up a kill. They pick up the dragon. Herald goes over to the side of TD, but that almost was so bad for them. They almost lost like 2 more people in that fight, and it could have been absolutely brutal. And now they're going to lose this turret. The ult going wide, but Zenzen caught out.
Shield accidentally going in way too early, taking so much damage from the tower. Does actually manage to pick up a kill on the Shyvana thanks to that grit. Very well done. We do see Shyvana taken out, but the red turret is going to get destroyed as Shyvana in the top lane does manage to continue their push. They did take the Rift Herald, so that's a double Rift Herald charge onto these objectives. They could be getting an inhibitor out of it if Shyvana's able to break this tower down quick enough. Oh, that's going to be so brutal. Look at that. Tower's going to fall. Shiho's going to be looking for the engage. They aren't going to hit the Rift Herald, though, so that's going to be the inhibitor brought down to less than half, and Jaffe's going to get out of there with their lives. That is, This is what I mean. This right here, objective play from TDE. Very well done.
Yeah, I really think it's just Jaffe like really putting the team on his back. Going, okay, I'm the only one here who is in a strong position, who has really managed to get a lot this game. I need to take advantage. I need to get this Herald. Let my team just die at the dragon. I'm just gonna get this. I'm gonna go top. I'm gonna at least try to get something, and he does. It's a big play, breaks open the base on the inhibitor turret, but it's just gonna get harder and harder to get kind of push it in as they get closer and closer to the Nexus.
Maybe so, but the thing is, we have not seen a true 5v5 yet. They have always been 4v5s for TDE. Shyvana's been top lane, doing Jaffe things, just pushing the towers. And so, like that last fight, when we saw the huge Curse of the Sad Mummy, there was no Fireball to follow up with that, so that you don't get a lot of damage. But if that happens in a 5v5 fight, that could spell the end of BBZ's lead.
Maybe, but this is AD. You gotta remember, this is AD Shyvana. The Fireball isn't quite as strong as, you know.
It's not gonna one-shot the ADC. It's gonna 3/4 health them, but I think that'll be enough with the other damage sources.
Maybe I can see that. You know, I'll give you that. I can see that. I think that is a possibility. So the 5v5 could be good. I think is more useful in a 5v5. You know, he can get the stun. He can push Shyvana out of there, or even a Mumu, or
good Abyssal Voyage coming out from War Leader. I take that back. That was a bad Abyssal Voyage. They're gonna get caught out by multiple members. Huge bandage toss catching Shiho. Double stun coming out as they manage to get the curse onto Dax as well. We do see the Xin Zhao able to be taken out. Jaffe taking a couple tower shots. Look at this. This is the damage I was talking about. This is the power that TDE has if they don't overstay their welcome and get taken out by Mezuzah. There you go. That's what you want to see. That is a fight that went very poorly for TDE in a couple of spots, but they pulled it out in the end. They're going to get a couple towers out of this, and that is going to be huge for TDE as they start to crack this game in their favor.
Oh, what was War Leader thinking going in right there? He's going to have to try to make it up right here. See if maybe he can help out, but no, they're just going to walk away. TD gets the fight, almost loses it in the end there. Mezuzah's massive right now. Now he's got the Muramana on, so it's going to be, he's going to just slug right through them. But they still pick up the kills. They get themselves back in the gold lead. They're 1,000 gold up now. And, you know, you're right. They're in the driver's seat now.
They've got the gold, they've got the damage. See, here's the problem with the Xin Zhao is you don't have a beefy frontliner. You have a frontliner, but he's not going to last too terribly long. And if Shiho keeps getting caught out like that, that's going to be a dead set, which is their main source of soaking up all this damage.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. And they did take him out really early in that fight. Taking War Leader out to definitely help, made it easier to kind of continue it without really, you know, the ability to just save somebody. So good on TDE. Dragon up in a minute. This could be a explosive fight for this game. I think it could really swing it one way or the other, like fully. We'll just have to see how it goes. Both teams are prepping the bottom side of the map for it.
They are. Look at this. Jaffe taking so much damage from that Corki. That Corki's just pummeling them with those missiles.
Like I said, mid-game Corki, you get 2 items, you get the boots, you got the power spike, man. This becomes the point where Corki really turns on. He kind of dips a little bit, but then he pops back up in the late game. So he dips around like item 3, 4, and then it's like 5 and 6. He's just back in it again. So still in a strong position. Looks like going for Essence Reaver. That might actually add still a bit to it.
All right, here we go. We got some fight stuff breaking out right here. Geico and the rest of his squad. We got the 5-man squad from BBZ pushing in through the top side of this river. You got the rest of TD looking for the edge. A huge package separating multiple members. We do see Zenzen on the backside throwing it out. Antunes locking multiple members down does allow Zenzen to get a lot of damage out. And there we go. Ultravox just shredding through these health bars. Jaffe, in the meantime, does get taken out by War Leader and Geico, but it's perfectly fine for them. As we can see, full health Ultravox looking to continue this chase. They are kind of going a little bit overzealously here, but this is a smart play. Turning back around to the Dragon, we do see that both members of BBZ are backing off. That fight is going to kind of spell the doom for BBZ. They're starting to see the writing on the walls here, and this is where you start to see trickle-down economics and how their long-term investments start to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, that fight was started up by BBZ. Looks so good. They just nuke Leaves right away. But when Mezuzah goes down and Jaffe gets into the back line, keeps Geico and Whirlleader from contributing it at all. And with Mezuzah and Leaves traded, it's a 3v2 in the jungle. Dax can hold on for tries to hold on as long as he can. The ult drops, and without the grand challenge, he's just torn to pieces by Ultravox. Xiao doesn't really have a lot of damage yet. Still hasn't finished that second item. Isn't super tanky, so he gets ripped up too.
I like this play. I like this call. Yeah. This is really good. Let's see if they burst it down quick enough for TDE's able to find out.
Yeah, they're trying to. Oh,
Ash Arrow finds the Corki, but unfortunately there's no follow-up, which is perfectly okay, as we do see Xiao does manage to actually slay Antoon, so he's going to be taken out. That is going to be a lot of lockdown that is going to be taken away from TDE as they look to engage on this. We do have the Invisible Viego trying to find a target, but he gets knocked up by the Abyssal Voyage. But look at this. Lee's still alive. Doesn't manage to get the reset. Dax taking him out. Shiho set is destroyed. Corki down. Ultravox hanging on by a thread. But they do manage to stop the Baron, which I think overall is a good call and a good play for TDE. Geico, though, is going to push this mid wave, and that's probably going to be mid-turret falling.
Yeah, I think that is going to be mid-turret. They do stop the Baron, but they do lose so much in return. Antoon's going a little too early. Wasn't really there for Jaffe to really... Jaffe wasn't really there for anyone to follow up with him. Neither was Zenzen, so couldn't make a lot out of it. Mid-turret is going to fall. Game's still basically dead even. This has just been a back and forth of a match.
Zenzen taking the blue.
Oh, Zenzen. Beautiful, beautiful man. An absolutely, it's, this is what I'm talking about. It's just back and forth. They're stealing objectives from each other. They're taking fights back and forth. It's just a slugfest. And this has been a great day if you love high kill League of Legends.
It is Antoon's. You're gonna get caught out, getting hit with the tongue yet again. You got the Zin jumping in onto that backline. Multiple flashes coming out. Huge arrow coming out from Geico. That is multiple members getting caught up in that.
Back.
Oh my goodness, we got the chain locking so many people down, and that is gonna be another set of kills. This is why you do not go in one at a time. This is what you gotta be afraid of. This is what BBZ was like, yes, this is what we need. This is going to be our Baron call. Jaffe now trying to look for some consolation prizes, going to be looking to push this bot lane as quickly as possible, but that is going to be a Baron buff over to the side of BBZ.
Yeah, so BBZ just keeps walking in one at a time into their own deaths, marching to the tune. Huge fight coming out from the side of BBZ. The game is still fairly even, but they're starting to get a little bit more of a lead. They're showing their team fight coordination. They're showing why, despite being...
And there's with the objective taking.
Yeah, just took the Gromp. See, back and forth. Back and forth is what we're going to be seeing all game. Jaffe's so sad, just walking all the way back to base. Not even going to go for to try to take the blue buff. And both these teams have just been showing such good play. Some still questionable decisions. Obviously, walking in one by one is questionable from the side of TDE, but I think overall though, this has been a very exciting game.
It is a very exciting game. The gold has now swapped back to the side of BBZ. They are like, okay, we had to play on the back foot, which TDE forced them onto, but at this point, I feel like BBZ is getting into a position where they can start to take this game away. They're starting to be like, it's okay. We did kind of lose ourselves there for a bit, but if we let TDE keep making mistakes and running into their own deaths one at a time, it'll work out in the end. There we go. Leaves right there, making an aggressive play. Unfortunately, there's a lot of members right there. There we go. Antoon's getting a Curse of the Sad Mummy down. Does mean a lot of damage is going to get dropped. Huge portions of health bars are being lost, and it's exactly the opposite way this time as we see TDE completely explode BBZ.
Yeah, BBZ just walks all the way, and they don't even have Mezuzah. They're their most fed member. Don't even have him in the fight, so it's just a 4v4. They quickly fall apart in it, and now TDE, they're going to push in. They're not only going to be able to end the game here. The timers are way too short, but they're definitely going to be able to grab one of these inhibitors, and they're definitely going to be able to march towards that dragon. and keep this game going.
Yep, Mizuza's wave clear is so devastating to that push right there. They're not able to stop it. They're not able to get even a little bit of damage onto that turret. So instead, they're just going to rotate down to the dragon, but they're going to have to make sure that they're ready for the engage coming from the rest of BBZ, as they are now back up. The health bars are gone, or the timers are death timers are gone, but that dragon has no health bar.
Yeah, so they don't get the inhibitor, but you know, Dragon's still a good prize. Puts them at 2, lets them get a little bit beefier, helps them tank just a little bit more of Mizuza's pain that he's dishing out. But good for Mizuza managing to hold the line despite that horrible fight for his team. And the package in onto Antunes.
Huge package onto Antunes, but you're going after the support. Admittedly, the support does a lot and does help out, but you're just kind of taking out one target with a very critical piece of utility that Corki has in their kit. That's going to mean that now we've got a bunch of members of TDE chasing down what's left of BBZ. They're able to start getting these shreds off. Huge amount of damage. Great snipe coming out from Geico. They were able to get the Chains of Corruption onto the Ashe, which means that that's an instantly dead Ultravox. Lucas leaves, charging under this tower, trying to get some more damage onto Shiho, but unfortunately not able to get the kill. Now we're going to kind of start to see when Jappy uses their ult, because I think that's going to be what spells the good or the bad for TDE in this next fight.
Yeah, I think they're just going to give this turret up.
They're
Jappy going in.
Going in a little bit short, just trying to save the turret. We do see Set taking a couple of tower shots there. But
well, that was more like Puff the Magic Dragon than Smog the Dragon.
Yeah, that was definitely not a Smaug. That was a little bit of a non-spicy play right there. But, you know, you can kind of see TDE doing what they can to try and hold things up, but not quite able to keep it going.
Yeah, it just keeps swinging backward with you thinking, oh, okay, the scale is going to come on. And it's not. Then it is, and it's not. Gold lead has expanded. It is 4,000 now in the favor of BBZ, surprisingly, despite having lost that earlier fight, but now grabbing that turret. So a lead is starting to form, though. If they can hold on to it is another question. Like this, it's just been so, I know I keep saying it, but just back and forth. It's first one fight by TD, then BBZ, then TD, then BBZ. Like they just keep throwing it back and forth. It's just a game. It's a fiesta.
It is a pendulum game.
Yeah.
The pendulum just keeps going back and forth, like you said. And it's kind of one of those things where I feel like despite being down this much gold, TDE could very well get a really good pick. If they can manage to catch Mizuza out, that's going to be a lot of gold into whoever gets that kill. And right now we're seeing Jappy like not quite able to stay in lane and like fight Mizuza, like because they can't quite catch them, but they can survive the poke if there's a minion wave there and just heal it right back up.
Yeah, this is, I mean, we're almost to it. We're 1 kill off from a 50 kill game right now at 30 minutes in. I think we could easily hit 60 or more this game. So that's a sign of what kind of game we're in. And I think a lot of this is pivoting on the matchup weirdly between Mizuza and Jaffy. It's whoever can get out of this side lane first and get to the team fight. That's the team that that's the one whose team tends to win the fight. So keep your eye on that. See who's getting the lead. See who's looking to start rotating over right now. It looks like it's going to be Mizuza. Looks like they might try for a fight. Oh, the arrow.
The arrow doing so much damage. This is the power of a Varus whenever they're going AP. Look at that. It just absolutely devastates anyone with less than 2,000 health.
Yeah, Zen just almost literally, it looks like a flash and his health bar just like almost completely disappeared. Absolutely terrifying. This, I didn't even realize he was building an AP, honestly. I thought he was going to be going an AD build this entire time.
Nope, that is the power of an AP Varus. Like, you just see you gets a couple of little stacks on you, and then instantly your health bar will be gone from one arrow shot.
Yeah, that's definitely what it was looking like. I mean, he just finished the death cap, so it's almost certainly going to just shred them now. But Baron is up. Looks like TD wants to start a BBZ caught, though.
Throwing out the bandage toss, kind of, I think more as an exploratory thing, does actually manage to do that. And now we've got Vision being blocked on this Baron, but we're trying to see if TDE is able to shred it quickly enough. They are caught out. Everybody knows TP is available. Dax jumps in. TP is coming out now. We got the huge fight going on. Arrows being thrown out, but it doesn't find its target. Ultravox, though, gets hit by the Haymaker. It's not leaves, does take down Shiho. The Baron is gone as Red Team picks it up. But look at this. TDE's like, that's fine. We're just going to keep chasing you down, and they're going to able to jump in on multiple members. There we go. Dax getting a huge amount of damage, manages to get the flat knockup onto Leaves, does see Leaves chasing him over the wall, though, so that's going to be the reset, and that is going to be 4 Baron buffs gone, as only Varus was able to survive. The TP is coming out from Ziggs. They're going to go in, take out the turret. Geico's going to try and look for a kill, though. The flash is going to come out, the arrow's going to get shot, but it doesn't find its target. Beautifully done by Zen, able to get away, and now we're going to see a second inhibitor fall, and this is where we start to see the objective play coming out from TDE. They're like, it's okay, we lost the primary objective of Baron, but we're going to be able to pick up the rest of these, and now we're seeing Jaffe once again caught behind the tower, trying not to make the same mistake. We're going to see mid-tower fall, and then Ziggs is going to take down this bottom inhibitor. That's going to be all 3 inhibitors down as the Mountain Drake is up. That is a huge amount of minion pressure. Huge amount of minion pressure.
Yeah, and it all comes off a very strange play by BBZ. The challenge was good. You see the Corki back, he teleports in, he's got package, and you're like, okay, this is the fight. TDE is about to just get like lose 4 people here, but they split the fight. BBZ's 2 carries are just trying to finish Baron. They don't really have enough damage to quite burst it down fast enough, and it gives time for TDE to turn it, kill the first 2 tanks for the side of BBZ, and then from then on it's just no front line for them. And now TDE, they've got another dragon. They're on soul point with the Mountain Dragon. They're still down gold but winning fights, even 4v5s. And now there's no quirky package, so that's going to make it even harder for BBZ.
This is going to be a really disgusting push, as we're going to see there's basically all TDE needs to do is escort one of these lanes into the base of BBZ, because once they do, all of those super minions are going to do so much buffing. Like, it's going to be crazy because they buff each other as well. So that's going to be 6 super minions just providing so much pressure. And look at this. If you look at the bot lane and the way the waves are crashing together, that's going to be another set of super minions coming in behind that. This is going to get really, really scary. That 1 Baron buff is probably all that's going to keep the space alive if it survives.
Yeah, it's going to be that, but it's... Oh, this is becoming a very rough push. You've got supers in 3 lanes now. BBZ is trying to hold on. They're trying to clear the waves, and they're doing pretty fast.
But there's only so much you can do against this much pressure. I mean, look at it. TDE doesn't even need to hit the towers, and they're already starting to fall.
Yeah, they just barely tap them, and they're just crumbling apart. It's looking very dire for BBZ now, despite being up gold. It's this point, that much gold difference doesn't matter at all, and with no inhibitors.
Shade! It found the target! It found Shyvana! Shyvana is gone! That is a massive health bar that's not available, but the Curse of the Sand Mummy's gonna find a couple of targets as well. We do see Antunes getting burst out completely. Now we got Shiho in the background. They do get taken out, but at the same time, that is gonna be 3 members of TDE taken down for just 1 of BBZ, and that is hugely painful. You don't want that to happen, but at the same time, I think TDE is still coming out the head here.
Yeah, they've come out ahead still. BBZ holds on for dear life, but they still have to deal with these minions. They're locked in their base, and that gives TDE the all clear to just go start clearing up BBZ's jungle. They're gonna take the red buff, they're gonna grab the blue buff. Weirdly enough, they have them on the opposing carries you'd expect them on. Red went to Ziggs, blue went to Ashe, but they find themselves
bottom blue. I think blue was on cooldown.
Oh, it looks like it was my mistake. Yep, you would be correct. Don't wait. No,
only got red buff.
Yeah, only red. Okay, so never mind. Decides just to want the other red buff. They're just gonna trade red buffs, and BBZ, they've got to find that fight. Like it's clear if they get the pick early, they can get a fight, but they have to also focus the same target too. Because they've been scattered in a couple of these, or they get sidetracked. They've got to keep their focus, like in the next fight. They really need to, because if they don't, they'll get split apart again, and they're gonna get torn to shreds. by Ultravox, by Leaves, by Zenzen. They're just such monsters this game.
Baron is going to be up in another minute, and Nexuses are still going to be down, so that's going to be super minions pushing in. They will be spawning, I think, probably as the Baron spawns. I think that's where the timer's at. I can't really tell from here. We are seeing an engage, though, here in this lane. Dax is going to get brought very low. They do have GA, so they'll be able to come back. That is going to be Geico going on a rampage as they take down Viego. Shiho does get burst out by the Ultravox. There we go. Huge amounts of damage. Dax trying to do what they can with their second health. They are able to do a decent amount, but it's not going to be enough as Zenzen finishes them off. But that is still a good amount of pressure that TDE has been able to apply here. And now these minions are going to push into the space so hard. Zenzen looking for a place to throw his package. One auto attack just completely. What? What was that? That was crazy. But now we got the inhibitors coming back right there. We got first inhibitor spawning. Second inhibitor is going to be right behind it. So now you're going to have to see TDE try to just take down one more inhibitor. They do manage to get it. Oh my goodness. This is so close. We do have Ash. Ultravox is getting caught out. Antune's getting burst down. Second inhibitor, third inhibitor are both back. The Nexus is exposed and taking damage, and Jaffe picks it up. Wow, that was a nail-biting of an ending. Nail-biter of an ending.
And we just break 60 kills on the game. Nail-biter of an ending. Nail-biter of a game. Such big back-and-forth swings. I think that has been the sluggiest game we have had all season, but it comes up in favor of TDE, and they keep their hopes of a tiebreaker for second place alive, but it's out of their hands now. It's all up to SLR to take down UB.
Yeah.
But beyond that, even on the other side of the bracket too, Eek is looking very happy on this game because now they are tied with BBZ, which means we've got a tiebreaker.
We do have a tiebreaker, which is going to be super exciting. And I know that from a betting standpoint, very like talk about beating the odds. Like that's just what you want. You want to like win those odds. So good job on those who bet on TDE. Getting 10K gold split between two people is always fun. But now we've got a situation where that tiebreaker is going to happen, which is going to be super exciting. We are going to have to see how this next set of games, though, I think, just to kind of really lock in playoffs.
Yeah, this next game is going to be so important for this, like the standings. It's going to decide if we have actually, no, either way, we have a tiebreaker, a second tiebreaker. We either have either way, there's a tiebreaker. So we're going to end up with two tiebreakers this season. It's going to just depend after next game whether it's UB versus TDE or UB versus second matchup of SLR.
Yep. Either way, so it's going to be really exciting to see, which means that, you know what that means? Stick around, don't go away. We'll have an interview with our winners, and then we got a very exciting Game 3 coming right up.
All right, folks. Hello. Chris Edgeworth here with our first interview of the night, joined by the victorious Antunes, joining us of Trickle Down Economics 2, Stonks Rising, and rising they are, because this game does secure the vaunted guaranteed tiebreaker one way or another, whether it will be the UB SLR tiebreaker or it will be the tiebreaker between TDE and I think it would be SLR that you folks would have to tie break against. So that'll be very interesting. So you guys did the work today that you had to do to make sure that you're at least locked in for the minimum of that third place spot. Congratulations, Antunes. How are you feeling?
I'm doing good after this week here, getting a 2-0.
There you go. That's about all you could ask for. When the power's in your hands, you just make sure you get those 2 wins, and then see how the rest of the stuff shakes out as we are towards at the very end of our season. So let's talk about this exciting game. It was a 40-minute banger all the way through. Let's start with the draft, of course. Interesting things all around. We did see for yourself, you're on the Mummy this time, so another not necessarily the hook champion per se, but another line skill shot goes to CC champion, let's say. And then piloting it to great aplomb in this game, Ash zigs Viego in Leaves' hands, which was very fun to watch. Although early, I liked seeing the dives and stuff, and then Shyvana, I'm always happy to see in the hands of Jaffe. Matched up against what they had on the side of BBZ, the most interesting thing I thought was Dax on that Xin Zhao. But overall, what are your thoughts on the draft you folks had planned for this game? What you ended up against?
To start off with, like Amumu is just like a go-to classic pick for me and stuff, so brings a lot of comfort to the team with the whole AoE like stun with the ultimate and stuff, and being able to have the double bandage toss. Even though I missed the first one, I most likely will guarantee to land the second one.
There you go.
And then with the Shyvana pick for Jaffe allows Jaffe to like split push for like majority of the game, which he does every game.
Keep going.
No, what were we gonna ask?
I was just gonna say, like, it seemed like the most interesting thing about that was there was a tale of two lanes in the early game, because of course you guys were getting a lot of attention. Meanwhile, Jaffe was just doing Jaffe things on the top side, just making Shiho's life just pure hell. We did get the replay for Jaffe of the chase down, where Set just sort of walked on Division into the top side. I want to say it was about like 20-ish minutes into the game, and Jaffe's like, "What the fuck are you doing here, boy? Bring that ass over here, boy!" and just chased him down. So it was a fun game all around to watch. Let's talk about this game because it was bloody throughout. It was absolute bloodbath. As I had told you in the break, at 17 minutes, you guys had like 23 kills across the map between both teams. We know the outcome. We know that it ended with 62 kills, but let's start with how the game felt for you folks, with how bloody, how much skirmishing, and, these trading of tempo, trading all these objectives across the map.
So basically, even though we went with a game plan to like try to beat them to dragon early and stuff, although that didn't really end up in our favor, knowing that we had Shyvana and Ziggs, we were able to like push out towers and stuff to like get closer to their base. We were down dragons by 3 dragons. Ended up picking ourselves up, headed over to Soul Point at one point. Caught them around the Raptors area once, which like kind of turned the game around even more. And it was a whole back and forth like tennis match between like fights.
Is there any point that you think that you could identify where you folks might have actually been worried about letting the game slip out of your hands? They did, of course. They were a lot more scrappy in the early game. Of course, the power of the Varus, especially the AP Varus. I had totally not been paying attention to that. I was just seeing the big numbers coming out from Geico. But you got the AP Varus in his hands, and it was just sort of what were your thoughts if there was any point in this game where maybe it might slip out of your hands?
At first, I initially thought it would probably. I think it was like the first or second dragon where I like flash ulted and like we just kind of got wiped after that. And then we picked it up, and then there was another point that happened around like I think it was around Baron Pit, which that where Ultravox got caught out, I think, by the set ultimate. I could be wrong. What else is there? And where I got caught out by the Raptors, just in case, where I could have like should have backed, but I thought that was gonna like put us at a disadvantage, even though like death timers were getting high at that point.
And then, of course, the one thing that I want to point out and get your thoughts on is, of course, Zen put up big numbers in the mid lane. Looking at the post game stats, 56,000 damage dealt. That is 20,000 more than the second highest person, which Geico and Mizuza both put up 33k. So tip of the hat over there. But it was the one thing that for me stuck out in your folks' game plan is that at the end. Even though BBZ did try and make that valiant stand, you folks did have Zen with the hacker W,
Yeah.
with the demolition bomb to just delete the turrets, and just you guys just played it slow on those Nexus turrets and popped them. So I guess the question I'm trying to ask is like at the end of the game, it was a 7 dragon game, right? Multiple barons. Money, so much gold got funneled into them too because of the dead inhibitors. Um, what was your guys' comms like as you guys were trying to walk this game in and make sure that you did end up getting this win as you had fought back against TDE's early damage? What were the comms like?
So basically near the end of the game, we were just like kind of matching the waves on the side lanes and stuff, so we can all like take it slow, not to rush anything, because I know in previous games where we kind of threw like that, and especially during scrims, so we just took it slow, like pace it out, and then if they make a mistake on engaging, we'll just like counter that. So it was more so it was like a calm, steady pace.
Well, this is the end of the regular season it's the end of the regular season for Mythic, but one thing that we do have, hold on, I got it here, give me 1 second. We got some breaking news, folks. Breaking news here on the caster desk coming in. This is unfortunately going to be the last game for you, Antunes, here in Mythic as we tip our hat to you for a wonderful regular season. So many memories of you here on Friend or Foe stage. So, this is not the end for your career, hopefully, here, but it is the end for your stay here with us in Mythic this season. What are your reflections on this season for you?
I'm grateful for all the teams that reached out to me at the beginning of the season, wanting me to play for them. That goes towards Wash, Ariri's team, and Brennan's team. They all reached out to me to play, and then I decided to choose TDE. Reason being is because they were very considerate with my given situation with my new job and stuff. So they knew what was going to happen, just in case if I wasn't able to play due to my scheduling. So we took that risk, and I ended up being able to play the whole season. So I enjoyed every single game that I was able to play. Being able to play the fun champs like Zach, Amumu, Blitzcrank, Leona, not all season. So a good shout out to everyone on that team there from TDE.
So what I'm hearing, to put things in the proper perspective, is that
Yeah.
TDE2 Stonks Rising had made an options investment on you, Antunes, and it continued to be paying out, and here they are cashing it out in the money. You will be stepping away from the team, but in the end, they do get that juicy placement into playoffs. So I think that's an overall worthwhile investment for them to pick you up. And it's been really fun watching you with tons of spicy picks. Of course, we saw the God Hand yesterday. Tip of the hat to you, Antunes. Always fun to see you play. Thanks for your time this season. And before we wrap up this interview, last chance for you. Any final thoughts, any shout outs, any banter you want to get out?
All I would want to say is that good luck to everyone in playoffs. Hopefully TDE wins. That's pretty much it. And I hope to see you guys next season. Hopefully.
Hell yeah. Well, folks, this TDE has done us the great favor of getting this win, so it puts all of the eggs into the basket of this next game. The decider for the top of the standings comes down to the very last game of the season, so you're not going to want to miss it. Back with Game 3, SLR versus UB.
Since you